And good morning, everyone. Welcome into Morning Invest on this Wednesday. So glad to see all of you here on the show today. Coming up on the show, Bitcoin. Is it bouncing back? Are we sitting at a double bottom? Is this for real? Or are we actually heading for a dead cat bounce? Yeah, we're going to get some technical terms on the technical analysis whiteboard today. We're going to dive into some of that. Plus, a major tax leak reveals the richest Americans didn't pay anything in taxes. Are you surprised? Are you shocked by this? Wait until you hear about Jeff Bezos. And frankly, wait until you hear about Elon Musk in all of this. And infrastructure stimulus talks collapse. President Biden is flying right now for his first overseas trip. It all collapsed before he left. Got on a plane, and Democrats, are they really ready to go it alone right now without Republicans? All of that and more. Plus, we've got some new Wall Street bets stocks that we're watching this morning. All of that and more on today's show. Welcome into Morning Invest starts right now. Good morning, everyone. Here's a live look. Beautiful Lisbon, Portugal. That's the 25th of April bridge right there, which is built just like the Golden Gate Bridge. That's a live look from beautiful Lisbon, Portugal. Your Morning Invest headquarters, by the way. Good morning, everyone. Welcome into the show. I'm Clayton Morris. I'm an investor. On this show, we teach you how to build wealth. We teach you how to turn those short-term gains into long-term buy and hold profits, navigating this crazy world outside of the US dollar. We cover the people's currency on this show, which is crypto. We cover some of those Wall Street bet stocks that love to stick it to the man. And we also cover for you here real estate and a way to actually build long-term wealth for you and your family. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Taylor is here. Michelle says, don't forget to press that like button. Good morning, Darlene. Good to see everyone. Brian Brumfield. Janice is in St. Louis. If you're just waking up, just joining us, let us know where you're joining us from. We do this show live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So we've got a lot of news to get to today as these markets move. Let's check the markets first, because some movement in pre-market hours here is the Dow up a little bit. NASDAQ did pretty well yesterday and up considerably thanks to some of these big pharma stocks yesterday. Let's take a look at Bitcoin at this hour. Bitcoin bouncing back, everyone. Yeah, Bitcoin is coming back. What is going on here? So, are we actually facing a... Oh, wrong button there. Why did that... man, my button got remapped again. Why did that happen? And Philip is in the control.
Did you move stuff in vMix?
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's what it does, because it targets the area, not the specific source. So
Blast. Anyway, all right, Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What are we in for today? Are we in for a double bottom, or are we in for a dead cat bounce? Dead cat bounce. That's the sound a cat makes when it bounces. So, all right, a couple technical items here. When we have a double bottom is this pattern here where we get two big bottoms, two big, butt cheeks, and it sort of forms like an M pattern, right? So kind of forms this, right? And this is usually a bullish sign, right? Because then this is going to move back up, and we're out of this pattern here. Good, we're out of this. It's a bearish reversal, okay? Is that what we're in for right now? Or are we in for a dead cat bounce? So a dead cat bounce, actually, I'm going to go to the whiteboard on this one, shall we? Shall we go to the whiteboard on this? Because I think it's going to be... All right, let's go to the whiteboard today. Okay. All right, let's do a... So this is... Let me hit the cat again, because this is a dead cat bounce. Someone put that cat out of its misery.
Can we just put that on a constant loop so that it doesn't stop playing? I want to hear that all morning.
I want to see how many... I want to see how many people have like cats at home that are like looking around right now. Like, what is that? So, all right, a dead cat bounce. Okay, here's the market. We've seen Bitcoin, of course, plummeting, right? So that's been Bitcoin. Okay, maybe it hits this falls down here. A dead cat bounce because dead cats don't really bounce. Like if an alive cat jumps off a roof, right? It usually, like, they're fantastic, right? They have 9 lives. It'll bounce. It'll jump. It'll be good. A dead cat doesn't really bounce. So we want a really nice bounce, right? If Bitcoin is actually coming back today, we want a nice bounce. But a dead cat bounce just does this. Comes up a little bit, right? We're like, oh, we're looking good, right? And that's kind of what we're looking at right now. If I go over to, if I go to my chart here, if I actually go to my chart here, you can see, look at this, 34,000. Wow, that's better than where it was, right? We were maybe heading down to that 20,000 range. Are we getting there? Or is this a fake out? Is this a fake out? And that's where we get this possible bounce. So this dead cat pops up, and then that cat goes back down. That's a dead cat bounce right there. So you're going to learn some. Hope that makes sense. Her cat's running around in there wondering what's going on. Just tell them it's a dead cat bounce. It's a dead cat bounce. What is happening? Philip loves that.
All day, please. Send me that so I can just put it in the background while I'm working.
So is that what we're seeing right here? Is this ride down here? Is this little Matterhorn that popped up there? Is that actually going to be just going to go right back down? The indications are, look, I mean, we could be heading back down. We could be heading down into that 20,000 range. So what needs to happen right now for Bitcoin is Bitcoin bulls need to finally break out of this $40,000 level. Otherwise we are bouncing back down. And this could, again, I mean, talking about hitting that 25. I mean, I'm not even pulling these numbers out of my butt. That's where these numbers, that's what the technicals are showing us. Okay? That's what the technicals are showing us right now. If we want to go back historically, why are the whales waiting on this? Because the whales missed it. When we had a $20,000 Bitcoin before, it shot up so fast that they didn't have a chance to get into it. So all of the big whales that aren't normally paying attention to crypto, they missed this opportunity before. They missed this opportunity when it was at 20,000. They weren't paying attention. And so back in February or January, look how quickly it moved. Look how quickly it moved, and they didn't get a chance to get into these spaces. So that was 34. Let's go back even more historically. Down here. Here was that moment in December of 2020. That's when we saw Bitcoin explode past the 20,000 range. And what happened is that the whales didn't get a chance to get in at this range. And so they don't want to pay $40,000 Bitcoin. Like we talked about yesterday. You got to watch yesterday's show where we really dove into some of the whale strategy here on this. I'm not going to belabor it again today. You got to check out yesterday's live show. But so whales have been waiting to get into this. Look, they've been sitting up here, 57,000. Whales aren't buying at 65,000. Whales are waiting. And the big guys, the billionaires are waiting. And now the market manipulation comes. The big sell-offs in order to take profits, they're waiting. So unless Bitcoin bulls really are showing some support here, Bitcoin, and it pushes that 40,000 range, and this is really a double bottom. Again, a double bottom pattern is usually a bearish reversal, and that means that we are absolutely heading up. So right now we're in this pattern. We're in this space where we don't know if it's going here or here. If it does go up, if we start really breaking out of this pattern, that's a buying time for Bitcoin. Again, I'll be buying back into Bitcoin if it moves up. If it doesn't, then we absolutely know that this is a dead cat bounce. And this is going to be plummeting. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen here. So let's keep our eye on that. We're going to look at some charts a little bit later. We'll check Ethereum prices. We're going to look at Dogecoin. We'll look at some breakouts. I'll have a little bit later in the show, I'm going to show you some potential farming opportunities, where to pick up some really good cheap coins right now. and things to keep an eye on as they continue to possibly go lower. Look, if Bitcoin plummets, we are going to have some amazing buying opportunities. So hopefully you're sitting in cash positions right now in order to pounce on some of these things. Let's check Clover this morning. So Clover, yesterday, if you're on the Wall Street Bets forums over on Reddit, Clover, this is really driving me nuts that I switched my mapping of my Stream Deck. Pissing me off. So Clover Health Investments Corp, this was a big one on Wall Street Bets yesterday. I actually jumped into this trade right after our show yesterday and made some really good money on the run-up yesterday. And then this is what happened. So here's on the chart. I jumped into this trade yesterday right after our show, right around here, ran this up and made some good profits on it and sold out. Then it just tanked. And it was really felt like really scammy yesterday. I mean, it was just, there was no bounce happening. There was not even a dead cat bounce yesterday on this. It just plummeted. Nothing going on. Then it slowly tickled itself back up. Is that a thing to tickle yourself? You can't tickle yourself.
I don't think you can.
Can you tickle yourself? Maybe you can. I can't tickle myself. Can anybody tickle themselves? I mean, so anyway, it kind of tickled itself up a little bit, and it's hovering about 22 here in pre-market. And so we'll see. Does Wall Street? You're a big Redditor, Philip. So were you seeing a lot of talk about CLOV yesterday? Clover Health Systems.
I didn't. Yesterday was kind of a busy day in general, so I wasn't on Reddit as much as possible. It's my go-to for downtime, and I didn't have a lot of downtime. But I didn't see anything on Clover or CLOV.
Maybe they're just getting sick of AMC, and because AMC kind of tanked yesterday. GameStop plummeted yesterday. But the two big ones yesterday over on the Wall Street Bets forums were CLOV and Wendy's. I was curious, like, where do they pick these from? What? All right, Clover Health Systems, as Yahoo Finance points out, were the stars on Tuesday, rallying after shares became the most popular tickers on Wall Street Bets. The Reddit forum tracked closely by traders, media members, and Wall Street pros for some signs of where the retail trades went yesterday. But this morning, this is where Clover is. Reddit, even like making CNBC headlines when they're focused on it, that it's it's obviously driving the narrative right now, and it makes mainstream media. So Clover, Wendy's, Reddit forum tracked closely by traders on Wall Street Bets. Some investors aren't too interested in tracking these sort of daily ebbs and flows right now. But I mean, it's interesting to see, like Deutsche Bank, they've been following them. The equity strategy team at Deutsche Bank has for months been chronicling flows clearly influenced by these new market participants. And no area of the market has been more shaped by retail participation than these single stock call options. And so, it's true. Like, you only live once trades, the YOLO trades. You only live once. And, it's interesting. You could have made a lot of money yesterday on these. If you know when to get in, when to get out, and if you're sitting there and you understand how these strategies work and you understand what markets look like, if you're sitting there on a 1 or 3 and 5 minute time frame and you're seeing that this stock is starting to drop, placing your trades and making sure that you're being safe about that. Wendy's also this morning up in pre-market. No, I'm sorry, it's in the pre-market. It's a little bit down. Up, finished yesterday up 5 to 28. So Wendy's also. So we'll keep our eye on Wendy's today, and pizza and Papa John's also. So it's funny what I think, like, they just maybe get into these things because they're hungry. I think that's what Wall Street forums. That's what they're like, hungry. Like, you know what? I just went to Wendy's. Hey, yeah, Wendy's is a good ticker. Let's put that in here.
Well, the thing about the Wall Street Bets is, like, if you just go onto the Wall Street Bets subreddit and you just start investing in everything you see there, you're gonna end up broke quick, because half of it is just people trying to pump, so there are words, I won't say lie, but there are words that refer to themselves as being not particularly smart, because that was the whole point of Wall Street Bets at the beginning, was just YOLOing a bunch of money into something and seeing what happens. And so it's a dangerous place to go if you don't, like, really kind of do your research on what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. I mean, if you're going to play around in those types of stocks, start small, start with $10, learn how to trade, learn technical analysis. Don't go big into some of these things because the market will eat your lunch. And right now, it's a wacky market to be trading. It's a little bit of a sideways market right now, and definitely in crypto. Like if you're trading right now in crypto, I mean, good for you, but I'm not. I'm sitting in cash as much as I can right now till this market picks back up again in the right way. We need something for Bitcoin. We need something on Bitcoin to either move. Bitcoin dominance right now, that's the thing. It's like Bitcoin dominance has been down. It's been going down. It's slowly coming back now, Bitcoin dominance. And Ethereum dominance is starting to recede. So I think we need some stability in Bitcoin for the rest of the market to have some broader stability. Even altcoins, I think if, altcoins always rely on Bitcoin dominance to have an altcoin season. I'm fine right now to be pumping some additional money into Bitcoin if it starts to stabilize and starts moving in the right direction. But it's a little bit of a crazy market right now. So again, throughout this hour, we're going to be keeping our eye on Bitcoin, again, hovering right around that 35,000 range right now. 35, right on the nose. Look at that. 35,000 on the nose for Bitcoin. So again, can the bulls push this up to 40,000? I mean, once we get close to that area, that's when I'm buying back into Bitcoin. Then to me, that's a confirmed double bottom. We're moving out of this bad pattern and we're moving back north. But otherwise, again, we're sitting in this dead cat moment, this dead cat bounce. Like this is what I pointed out on the whiteboard, a dead cat bounce right here. Goes down. You think it's coming back, and then the cat dies. And goes back down again. That's known in the industry as a dead cat bounce. So, was it you that was saying yesterday, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could do some education stuff on the show? Like, is that you or was that David? I can't remember.
Well, I mean, I love the idea but I think you're referring to David a couple days ago when we were all talking, where he's talking about.
Oh yeah, right.
Doing like an education.
Just saying. Yeah, doing like an education segment on the show, and I said, okay, here it is. Here's your dead cat. Here's your dead cat education segment. So now everyone knows. You're going to remember this for the rest of your life. What a dead cat bounce is in technical terms. You think it's going to come back, and the market comes back. It tricks you out. It fakes you out, and then it actually dies. That's a dead cat bounce.
Now, is there a dead whale bounce?
I would like to see that. Yeah. I guess a dead whale bounce, because. Well, frankly, it's what we've been seeing over the past few weeks. It's like, are the whales buying back in? But they're not.
Yeah, it almost have to be like right when the whales were about to buy, and then it goes up instead. So that would be the dead whale bounces. You just never see them.
Yeah, so you never see them.
We had a couple super chats come in about while we're doing markets. Amy Perkins with a $2 super chat. What are your thoughts on BCH?
BCH?
Yeah.
BCH. Let me look at BCH real quick here. I mean, the thing is, on any of these right now, well, again, look at this. It's following a similar pattern, of course, to what's happening with Bitcoin. And that's what you're going to see. Bitcoin Cash. I mean, this is. Similar pattern to what we're seeing with Bitcoin, not that much different, just a little bit more volatile, but look, same pattern. So again, is BCH right now in a dead cat bounce? Could be. It could be. So we won't know until, this is a 4-hour chart. So we need to see the completion of these cycles here and see what's happening on Bitcoin before we can really say, but all right, Bitcoin moving up now. Up to 35,100 in the last few minutes. So maybe we're not. Maybe this dead cat bounce is dead after all.
All right, we got Charles Sheen. Sorry, one more real quick while we're on this. Like, crypto yield farming advertises larger APR, 60% or more. Could you provide your thoughts on if this is worth getting into?
Crypto yield farming. And how much APR?
It says larger APR, 60% or more.
60%. I don't know enough about that. 60% yield farming on crypto. I mean, I mean, again, just staking your coins and maybe, staking some of these coins that you can make some good returns on, whether it's, Cardano or Ethereum, making a good return, putting finding some stable coins that are going to yield some nice returns. I do not know enough about that yield farming. So I can't answer that. I wish I could.
For me, I'd be skeptical at 60% or more APR. Anything like that. That sounds like very
we'd all be doing
MLM territory. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Be careful. We're going to get to all of your news this morning. Now that we checked the markets, we're going to talk about infrastructure stimulus. We're going to look at what's going on with this tax issue right now for these billionaires, and we're going to dive into some good altcoins where there's potential to mine those and pick some of them up at really cheap prices. But first, I want to tell you about our friends over at Policy Genius. It's so easy at Policy Genius right now to go there and compare quotes. Start the summer off right. It's time to save money on life insurance. That way you'll have a bigger budget for all the summer things like pool floats and, ices. What do you ever, when you would go to the pool, what was like your favorite pool treat? I used to love getting like the, like Fun Dip. Did you ever eat Fun Dip when you went to the pool at the snack shack?
I was a Jolly Rancher stick person. I liked the sour candy, and then kind of mixing that with the chlorine air just was a fun time.
It was always a good time. Yeah, that and Italian ice, Italian water ice. Well, then you'll have more money for that, right? Because you're going to save a bunch of money on Policy Genius. You can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. You could save $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare your policies. The licensed experts over there at Policy Genius, they work for you, not the insurance companies. So you can trust them to help you navigate every step of the shopping and buying experience. But that kind of service has earned Policy Genius an excellent rating on Trustpilot. So getting started is super easy. All you have to do is go to policygenius.com/morninginvest. Go to policygenius.com/morninginvest, and you'll get the coverage you need. Compare personalized quotes to find your best price. And when you're ready to apply, the Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free. Policy Genius never sells your information to other companies, and they don't add on extra fees. So head on over to policygenius.com right now to get started. Policy Genius, when it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. Our thanks to Policy Genius. All right, let's talk about infrastructure now. Well, the infrastructure talks have collapsed. President Biden meeting yesterday with Republican Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia. She's the right hand in that state, the Republican to Joe Manchin, the left hand, although God knows he's basically a Republican anyway. They met yesterday. President Biden met with Shelley Moore Capito, and it collapsed. Apparently, President Biden cut off the talks, said we're not getting anywhere, and he basically said, "Hey, we'll come down $1 trillion, so it'll be $1 trillion package," and then they offered $150 billion. Like, how do you even start a negotiation when that's how far apart you are? From Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, the president basically said he's going to speak with Senators Sinema and Cassidy and Manchin today. He urged them to continue their work with other Democrats and Republicans to develop a bipartisan proposal that he hopes will be more responsive to the country's pressing infrastructure needs. The president said that he'd be in contact with members of the group by phone while he was in Europe. And blah, blah, blah. In other words, Democratic senators who are protecting the old filibuster, so getting all of this crap done is on you now. Like, Joe Manchin, who is refusing to alter the filibuster rules, wants to continue to try to work with Republicans to get a massive infrastructure package through. Good luck on that. Good luck on continuing to work with Republicans. They have shown no signs of wanting to do anything meaningful, put up any kind of money, other than fixing roads and bridges. Not, nation's school districts, lead pipes that are all around our cities that are causing all kinds of health problems for people in America. None of that. Like, let's just remove any of the environmental stuff from it. That's what Republicans want to do. So, to move forward on that, Speaker Pelosi is waiting on this right now. They were hoping to get to this at the end of the month. The president also is hoping, to work with Senate Leader Majority Schumer on this to get work on the budget resolution process so that the legislation can advance. So basically, that's a way of saying, we don't really think we're going to be able to work with Republicans on this. We're going to have to go the budget reconciliation way. Anyway, screw you, Republicans. That's going to have to be how it is. I just don't understand why we've wasted so much time on this. Again, we've talked about this here on the show, how much time has been wasted on trying to get them to come to the table to do something meaningful. It's been months now, and you've wasted all this time. Maybe it was just trying to show good faith. I don't know. Here is, what's his name, from the Washington Post, talking about why the president has spent so many months on this.
Can he win this way?
Well, look, Brian, President Biden has invested much of this spring in trying to find a bipartisan deal on this infrastructure package, week after week of negotiation with Senator Capito and other Republican senators in hopes of bringing the two parties together. But a lot of Democrats on the left, including Congresswoman Jayapal, and she is not alone, have felt this was something that was never going to bear any fruit, that it was a waste of time and a waste of political capital for this White House. They wanted to see the White House move very quickly to pass this infrastructure package through reconciliation, which effectively means that it would only require 50 votes plus one in the Senate, which they could do on an entirely party line Democratic vote. That appears to be what Senator Schumer, the Democratic majority leader, is preparing at this hour to at least move part of this package through in that manner. But nonetheless, Biden is continuing some talks with that trio, Manchin, Sinema, and Cassidy, that you mentioned at the top of the show. We'll see if that gets anywhere. But frustration clearly on the left, as progressive Democrats want to see some of this become law and feel like the clock is ticking and time is wasting here.
Yeah, for sure. Like we've been wasting time dealing with Mitch McConnell and his merry band of intractable Republicans who are just not going to move a muscle on any of this. So why wait? I just don't understand why wasting the time. We know they weren't going to do it. They've already said they don't plan to work on this. They don't want to work on this. They're not putting up any meaningful numbers, and the president has come down $1 trillion. Okay, so go back to your original number of 2.3 trillion then, and kick Republicans to the curb, because all you're going to hear is more of this, like from Mitch McConnell, who came out after the talks fell apart and said this.
Bills so far this year, significant bills on a bipartisan basis, bills that came out of committee that had buy-in from both sides. But I think that's coming to a screeching halt this month because the majority leader is starting with the so-called paycheck fairness bill late this afternoon, which is essentially a giveaway to the plaintiffs' lawyers in America, a series of totally partisan bills designed to get no Republican support. So it looks to me like majority leaders decided that June is kind of the check-the-box month with all of the extreme left-wing provisions that they support that have been coming out of the House. Hopefully, we'll sober up after that and get back to doing work together as we have done for the first almost 6 months of this year.
I love how he says extreme left-wing positions. I'm sorry, but the extreme left wing of the party has not gotten what they wanted. So these are not extreme left wing. Fixing schools that are crumbling is not extreme left wing. So I know you don't think that it's part of infrastructure, the schools in our nation. So you want that separated. You want environmental stuff set. It's not extreme. I mean, have you seen what's going on out west? Have you seen the massive droughts that we're facing? Like, this is not extreme.
I mean, it's like not wanting lead in the water is an extreme position.
Right.
Like, come on.
And how is that not part of infrastructure? How is okay, so just roads and bridges, that's it, but the lead pipes going into schools and in water supplies for the American people, like, that's not part of our infrastructure.
It's literally the definition of infrastructure is like all of the necessities to keep a society going, and I'm pretty sure water is up there. Lead-free water, doubly so.
Right, like I'm drinking lead-free water right now, and I have to say it's pretty good. Like I'm definitely down with lead-free water. Let me know in the chat. Like, do you guys prefer your water with lead in it or other toxic chemicals? Then maybe write a letter to your member of Congress and let them know, hey, Republicans, like, this is part of infrastructure. These are things that we support. Making sure that our nation is not pouring toxic chemicals into rivers and roadways is part of our, is very important. Reducing our carbon footprint in the United States is incredibly important. Building a broadband infrastructure so kids who, if in case God we have to go through another pandemic, 12 million people who don't have access to broadband, and 12 million kids who didn't have access to internet during a pandemic and had to drive to the frickin' school parking lot and sit there next to a bus hotspot that they set up for Wi-Fi while they sat in their parents' car in the freezing cold to get online and do remote schooling in their backseat of their car. Oh, by the way, while the parents had to leave their jobs to drive them to a school parking lot for multiple hours a day to sit and get Wi-Fi, or go to park outside of a McDonald's to use McDonald's Wi-Fi. And John says, I like my water to be premium unleaded. Exactly. Okay, go to East Orange, New Jersey. Go to parts of New Jersey. I mean, literally some of the worst water in the world, in the country. Not the world, but in the country. I mean, all kinds of high levels of metals and chlorine and other issues in the water supply. This is going right into school districts too. This is not part of infrastructure. Screw you, Republicans. And screw you, Joe Manchin, by the way, for dicking around with this ridiculous, not wanting to adjust the filibuster when Republicans are perfectly happy to do that and run the gauntlet on Democrats when they want to get anything done. So, hey, turnabout is fair game. You lost an election. Let's get some stuff done. Let your Congress people know about it. Write them a letter. Call them this afternoon. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous? Wealthy people not paying their fair share of taxes. Now, we keep hearing this, right? We hear tax returns and we talk about that with Donald Trump, and we kind of assume those sorts of things. Maybe we're going to, Donald Trump's being fishy with his taxes, Jared Kushner, right? We've heard all that from a political perspective. But you'd think people like Elon Musk, who are really, in favor of the environment, they want to help people, right? We're trying to lift up people. Jeff Bezos, right? He's a man of the people, right? He wants to help people. Mike Bloomberg, right? He can spend millions of his own dollars to run for president. We figure these guys, right? These guys are paying their fair share of taxes. Well, ProPublica got its hands on an extraordinary document dump from we don't know where, and ProPublica doesn't know either, or so they say, from the IRS. And in these documents, it revealed, it's the tax returns of some of the wealthiest Americans. And in these tax returns, it turns out that, well, they're not paying their fair share of taxes. In fact, they're not even paying anything in taxes. Elon Musk paid $0 in federal income tax in 2018, and according to this big document dump. And Jeff Bezos as well, also not paying anything. ProPublica received a highly secretive tax data dump on everyone from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to Warren Buffett. And they've already given us a taste of what's in these filings. Jeff Bezos, for example, the Amazon CEO, reported $46 million in income for 2007, but didn't pay anything in federal taxes that year. How? How did he do that? Well, because the tax code is written to benefit entrepreneurs. That's just the way the tax code is written. And so every penny that he earned was offset by another penny and losses from side investments and various deductions, like interest expenses on debts, and the vague catch-all category of other expenses. Let me just tell you how this works. He makes $47 million, puts it somewhere, and then borrows against it. When he borrows against it, guess what? You don't pay taxes on debt, but you do get a deduction on the interest that you're paying on those loans. Can you do that? Like, are you who's watching right now taking advantage of this the way that these billionaires are? It's perfectly legal. It's the tax code. So why did ProPublica print this? They say, and their reporter who wrote the article was interviewed just a few minutes ago. I happened to catch it. I happened to save it, and I'm going to play it for you now. He says he thinks the American people have a right to know how these people are making money and not paying taxes, and how the system is basically rigged in their favor. You know, because when you work for somebody else, those taxes are already taken out of your paycheck. You don't even get a chance to hide the money. You don't get a chance to invest in rocket ships like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. You don't get to decide that you're just going to invest in a goat farm to offset the money you make, right? It's taken right out of your paycheck. So here's what the reporter had to say on this, Eisenberg, who did the reporting from ProPublica.
We are being careful, responsible stewards of this information, and we're only putting it through a prism of what is in the public interest. And we think it is in the public interest to know that Jeff Bezos, the world's richest person, paid zero in income tax in 2 recent years, that Michael Bloomberg paid zero, Carl Icahn paid zero, Elon Musk in 2018, zero taxes. I defy anyone, one, to say, like, this is old news and we're all jaded and the rich can avoid taxes. I think no one would have thought that this was the case until yesterday when we published it. Maybe, you know, that real estate moguls like Donald Trump or Jared Kushner might pay zero, but not these guys. So we think it's in the public interest. We were very careful. We verified all the information. The most important aspect of this to us is the information comes and we put it through a prism. Is it verified? Is it true? Is it newsworthy? And we thought it passed that. Every source has bias. I mean, I'm familiar with cable stations.
Watch this, by the way. So he's talking about, takes some balls on his part. So Jesse, who's Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, by the way, at ProPublica, he's on CNBC and he's basically calling them out saying, hey, wait a second, is this newsworthy or not? That's the question they're asking him. And he's saying, wait a second. So you have people that literally come on your air who are pimping certain stocks that they have a vested interest in on your air to drive up the value of certain stocks.
That have money managers on who talk about stocks that they own. And I think that they can have valid points. Every source in every interaction for every journalist has an agenda, has a bias. We put it all through the prism of whether it's true and whether it's newsworthy.
So what do you think? Should ProPublica have published this IRS data? I mean, at the end of the day, whoever released this data, that's a criminal offense. I mean, releasing private tax information from the IRS is a criminal offense. So should ProPublica have published it? They say they don't even know where they got it. Like how they received it was, I guess, anonymous. They don't even know who got it. So I guess there's going to be an investigation. That's what the IRS is saying. Charles Rettig, the head of the IRS, is saying, we take this seriously. We're going to find out, this is one thing that we've never really had a leak of before at the IRS. We could always sort of stand by this idea that when we send our tax returns in, like no one gets access to them. They're hidden. They're not hackable. They've been hidden by the IRS and they're not public. Not anymore. What do you guys think? I mean, do you guys think they should have published this? I do. They're looking right now into whether or not these records, including Buffett, Bezos, Bloomberg, and Elon Musk, showed that any of them they all paid little to no tax as their wealth ballooned. It report concluded that legal tax avoidance strategies had allowed the 25 richest Americans to pay just $13 billion in federal income taxes in 5 years, even while the rising value of their stocks, their properties, and other assets had inflated their collective wealth by $401 billion. The thing is, those are unrealized gains. So they didn't sell the houses. They didn't sell the stocks. They just rose in value. They're unrealized gains. What do you think?
I mean, I wonder if this story will like have more teeth than the Panama Papers did, which it was like everybody freaked out for 4 or 5 days and then completely forgot about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's amazing, and especially considering like how much these billionaires that ProPublica is going after kind of control the media anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you know that there's sort of this like rogue offshore financing industry, that the Panama Papers exposed, like, okay. Yeah, we kind of, but I guess what he's saying is, Jesse's saying, like, look, I would challenge all of you to say that we're jaded enough now. Are we so jaded that we just assume these guys pay nothing in taxes, and we're okay with that? I mean, I think the tax code is incredibly unfair. I talk about it all the time. I say, you know, this is the field that we're playing on right now. So we try to teach you how to take advantage of the tax code as it is, to lower your taxes. No one wants to pay more taxes than they need to. You know, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you know, how can you build wealth given the tax code? Remember, the tax code is massive, really, really big, but only a few pages of the tax code actually talk about you sending money to the IRS. The rest of the tax code is a series of incentives for business owners to partner with the government, and a series of loopholes. I wouldn't say loopholes, incentives is what tax authorities would say, right? Hey, if you build a solar farm that benefits society, you'll get a tax credit. If you build a business where you hire people and you do it in such a way, that's a tax credit, right? You build a giant warehouse and you employ thousands of people, you're creating a business. We might even give you tax benefits for moving into this particular city. So you don't have to pay property taxes for 10 years. See that happening all the time. Now you work for somebody else, you get a W-2 paycheck, you are taxed at the highest level. Because under the tax code, the government frankly just doesn't care. They don't. They don't see you as adding much to society in the way that big business owners do. That's just the way the tax system is written. It's incredibly cruel. It's not fair. That's what it is. So did they do anything illegal? No. I mean, Bezos makes $47 million, but then he decides to create a rocket company. Now, what's more expensive as a loss leader than building a rocket company to go to the moon so he and his brother can fly up in space? Same thing is true with Elon, right? Wasn't the wealth tax in the 1930s like 65%? Super chat, thank you, Amy. And nobody complained back when people cared about their neighbor and did what was best for everybody. Yeah, it was. The wealthy paid upwards of 70% back then. You can thank Ronald Reagan. You can thank years of Republican presidents lowering taxes all the way down. And people want to cry about raising it to like 33%, or even raising corporate taxes to 28%. The massive wealth inequality in the United States right now, it's just disgusting. And I think that's what this piece really sheds light on. Nothing's going to change. I mean, we'll see. Does anyone in the chat actually think something's going to change? Is Washington going to do anything about this stuff? I'd be really shocked if they did. We've got more news to get to in a moment, but we got a lot more news to get to, especially on Bitcoin and crypto. We're going to look at that, but I want to tell you about our friends at Truebill, how you can save some money right now. So we're talking about all these guys making so much money. Why don't we actually save you guys some money? And Truebill, and many of you have already written to me and said, I thank you, Clayton, for telling me about Truebill. I signed up for it, and I've saved a boatload of money already. Even David used Truebill, our producer David, and he found some subscriptions he didn't even know he had. Because a lot of people have subscription services you're paying for each month that you don't even know about. And you signed up for stuff in quarantine, you didn't even know about it. You're heading back out into the world now, and you no longer need those apps, those streaming video services. 80% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about. Are you one of them? If you want to save some money, that's where Truebill comes in. It's the smartest way to manage your finances. They have an easy-to-use app. You can review your current charges all in one place, cancel subscriptions directly through the app. They have a variety of tools to help customers improve their finances. They can easily identify fraudulent activity. You can actually set savings goals in there. And people think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions. Turns out they actually spend closer to $200 a month. So Truebill has already saved its users more than $50 million. So the average person saves $720 per year if they use Truebill. Get started today at truebill.com/invest. Use that link, truebill.com/invest, to take control of your finances. Start saving at truebill.com/invest. That's truebill.com/invest. All right, we got a lot more news to get to today, and I want to talk about, let's talk about prices. You guys have known, we talk about inflation. Obviously, we're looking at the broader market right now. Inflation is setting in, and we're starting to see broader signs of that now. All you need to do is look at Chipotle prices right now. You need to look at Sherwin-Williams buying a can of paint. Prices are going up. So yesterday, Chipotle announced that they are raising its prices on their burritos. Just about everything is going up now at Chipotle. The CEO said we lowered these prices before the pandemic. We're charging a $3 delivery fee. We lowered that to $1. Now they're raising. Chipotle says they have not seen much resistance yet to online prices going up, but they are. In terms of prices, they think the delivery channel, there's an additional pricing potential there. So they're adding more to the price to have contactless delivery from Chipotle. But overall, their prices, and why is that? Well, they say the cost of ingredients has gone up and they're paying more salary. So now prices are going up at Chipotle. So this, folks, is, this is inflation, right? The cost of things. And now it's setting in. You're seeing it now, and prices are just going to go up. And do you, by the way, let me ask you this. Do you think that prices are going to go back down? Like once prices go up, does the cost of a Happy Meal ever go back down? Like once it goes up? No. Does the cost of going to Disney World to get Disney tickets ever go back down? No. It only just goes up. Up. That's inflation. Sherwin-Williams also increasing their prices on paint. And we're seeing this now. It's going to be happening across the board. So Chipotle, just the first to make a major announcement on raising prices. I'm sure you'll see it at Starbucks soon. I'm sure you're going to see it at other places that have been whining about raising salaries for people. And they're going to pass that on to consumers in this way, and they're going to blame it on a series of things. But hey, it is inflation, and we're starting to see it setting in just the restaurants that we go to on a regular basis.
Well, the Chipotle CEO made about like 38 million in 2020. So,
right? Yeah, couldn't they? Yeah. Look,
maybe
and their online sales, by the way, skyrocketed. I mean, 174% growth year over year, $2.8 billion in profits. So now they're going to raise money. They're going to raise prices on those burritos. They also rose, even going in the store. You think, oh, pandemic, people aren't going to the store. No, even in the store, their sales rose 5.5%. And increased since January of this year, 11% sales growth. So, okay. So there you're going to go. Raise your prices, because people, I guess, will continue to pay $9 a burrito, I guess. I do like Chipotle, I will say. Really I do. I love a good Chipotle burrito. That's my weakness. That's my gluttony food. Like if I want to sit on a Sunday and watch a football game or something, get a bag of their chips and salsa and a chicken burrito.
I'm a Wendy's chicken sandwich guy. That's my guilty pleasure. Sometimes I just have to have it. It has to be Wendy's spicy chicken. Just has to be.
That is a good one too. Yeah. What are your let me know in the chat. You guys watching right now, what's your guilty food pleasure? I do like a burrito. I think probably my biggest guilty pleasure food, fast food, has got to be is McDonald's Quarter Pounder with cheese meal, hands down. No pickles. That's a go-to for me. Poke Bowl?
No, that was I went to send another comment and then it all shifted and I sent the wrong one. Oh. There we go.
I thought it was Imperial Majesty was saying a poke bowl.
No, somebody said the poke bowl. So
Tippy says I can make a Chipotle burrito at home, but better. Ooh, we've been doing that on taco nights, but it's not better. I will say, their chicken, the way it's marinated for a number of hours. I actually once did a segment where I went to Chipotle and had to cook there all morning. And had to make all the fresh guacamole, had to get out all the fresh avocados. I had to cut tons of onions, and their guacamole with the sliced onions is delicious too. Making me hungry now. Making me hungry.
Yeah, me too. I like Safeway because I don't know. I don't know much about these brands. I don't know if Safeway is like a national chain or just kind of a Western thing. But they have these cans of organic chili beans that are just absolutely amazing, and they're usually pretty cheap. And so when I do burrito night, I throw those in there, and it just makes amazing burritos.
Ooh, I like that idea. Nice. Yeah, send us your guilty pleasures here. So here was the tweet that was heard around the world. Another big story in El Salvador. This was the tweet late last night from the country's president. And he tweeted this: the Bitcoin law has been approved by a supermajority in the Salvadoran Congress, El Salvador. 62 out of 84 votes. History. Of course, he's a young guy. I think he's 39 years old, the president. El Salvador, though, becoming the first country in history to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender after passing the law. Huge news. Lawmakers in the Central American countries' Congress voted by a supermajority to favor Bitcoin. It's now the first country in the world to recognize it as actual legal tender. The price of Bitcoin up 5% on the news shortly after that vote. So finally, maybe like some good news is actually moving the market in the right direction for Bitcoin. Got it signed. He sent the letter. He says the purpose of this law is to regulate Bitcoin as an unrestricted legal tender with liberating power, unlimited in any transaction and to any title that public or private natural or legal persons require carrying out. Prices can now be shown in Bitcoin, tax contributions can be paid with Bitcoin, and exchanges in Bitcoin will not be subject to capital gains taxes. Huge. So that's huge. Because in the United States, of course, Bitcoin, we consider it property. So if you sell Bitcoin, that's, of course, a taxable event. In El Salvador, exchanges in Bitcoins will not be subject to capital gains taxes. Will that happen in the United States? Basically, they said the exchange rate with the US dollar will be freely established by the market. I mean, 70%. The reason that this is such a huge story, like if you're wondering why this is such a big story, 70% of El Salvador does not have access to traditional financial services. They're unbanked. And this, of course, is how transformative cryptocurrency can be for the rest of the world. It's why I'm so bullish on it. Away from this corrupt government system, the printing of money, the printing of the US dollar, debasing our currency. When you have a dollar today, it's worth less tomorrow. Bottom line, because the way that the Fed works, the way that the governments work in devaluing our currency. When you have an asset that has historically appreciated, has risen 10% in value year after year, and now anyone can get access to a digital wallet regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, anywhere in the world can get access to their own digital wallet. And it's incredibly empowering. But the fact that they are now saying, we're not going to charge any capital gains taxes on it, it turns it into a currency. It's been argued that it's property, right? In the United States, it's been argued as property, similar to gold, and that when you sell it, you're paying capital gains taxes. It's a taxable event. By the way, if you don't report it to the IRS, that's a felony. So when you sell Bitcoin for a profit, you have to report that. And imagine every time you buy a can of Coke, you're having to report that to the IRS. So that's incredibly cumbersome for a currency. So, El Salvador seeing the light on this, saying, no, we're not going to make you do that. Other countries as well, like Portugal, have now allow you to buy properties, buy houses, condominiums, townhomes with cryptocurrency. Dogecoin and not pay capital gains taxes, not pay taxes on it. So is this a future? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. We had some commentary on this. I want to play this on El Salvador. Take a listen to what this means for the future of crypto. This is, I just forget her name. She's got a wacky name. I met her years ago, and I can't think. Why can't I? Oh, Perianne. Her name is Perianne Boring. She's not boring, but listen.
Hold on here.
Yeah, it's certainly been a very exciting week. I just came back from Miami where this announcement was first made about El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender. We now have our first country that's really embracing this in this way. They're going to be the first of many. Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, in March of this year, stated that Bitcoin is more of a substitute for gold than the dollar. So what does that mean? Well, central banks around the world are holding the dollar as a reserve asset, and they're also holding gold as a reserve asset. And then the next logical step is we will see central banks substituting gold for Bitcoin for gold. So the question you should be asking, who's going to be the first central bank to do that? And eventually all these dominoes are going to fall. And what we're going to see is Bitcoin becoming a reserve asset.
I think she's right. We're already seeing it with businesses. And when Wall Street starts moving in that direction, when Apple starts buying up Bitcoin, when Amazon starts buying Bitcoin, when all these other companies start buying Bitcoin as a store of value on their balance sheets, and you see countries start to buy Bitcoin, game over. I mean, it's the new gold. With gold, that's why so many countries have been hoarding gold. China's been stocking up on gold as a store of value. Why? Because who trusts paper currency? I mean, who trusts government currency? I sure as heck don't. Do you want to trust your family's future in government currency? No way. No, thank you. No, thank you. So they're also going to be training people in El Salvador with mechanisms so the population can access Bitcoin transaction sites. They're going to be doing a whole lot, which is really exciting. Now, look, let's put this in perspective to look at the other side of this. El Salvador is not a G7 country, okay? It's a small Central American country. I don't want to undercut it, but when Japan does this or when the United States does this, that's when it's going to be an absolute game over situation. I wonder how long that'll take to happen, but we'll have to keep our eye on that. Let me know in the comments what you think about that.
Amy Perkins had a $2 super chat, and
yeah.
This is applicable. If you sell Bitcoin for a loss, do you still have to report it?
Well, I mean, you'd be crazy not to, because then you can. The beauty of Bitcoin as property, and that the way that the federal government sees it, instead of it being a security like a stock, is that you can then quickly jump back into that same coin within, you not have to wait the 30 days like you do with a stock. So let's say you lose money on a stock or on a coin. Okay, it's down. You lose money and you jump back into it in order to make some profits because now you got your head straight and you jump back in. So you can do that regularly. You have to wait 30 days with a stock, and it's a security. With Bitcoin, it's been deemed property by the federal government, just like a house. And so if you lose money on a trade and you physically lose money, yes, you want to use that to offset your other gains. Like, let's say you have $100 in Bitcoin, you bought $100 in Bitcoin and you lose $50. Well, that $50 you lost is a loss on your taxes that you can use to mitigate your income from your day job. I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about, that these wealthy people are doing, right? So if they make $1 million, they are also then going out and spending $1 million, or hey, maybe they're gambling on horses or something. I don't know what they're doing, but they're taking capital losses through investments and doing these types of things to offset their taxes. So you'd be crazy not to report your losses. And also you'd be crazy not to report your gains. But again, they have to be sold and profitized. Like you can't, unless you turn it into US dollars, it's sitting in your digital wallet. It's unrealized. When you sell it and you actually take it out and use that money, that's when you have to report it. Remember that, right? Now, talk to your accountants. I'm not a financial advisor, but it's the same thing with owning a property. Let's say I invest in a real estate property, and on paper, my wealth has increased because it's appreciated in value. Well, I didn't sell the house, so I don't have to report it to the IRS. My net worth has increased on paper, but I don't have any cash to use from it until I sell that house. Once I sell the house is when I have the capital. Then I can go and buy groceries with it. That's when it's a taxable event, okay? So taxable events, you need to report those to the IRS, whether you lose money or you gain money. And all of these things you can print out in your statements from your different exchanges and give those to your CPA so they can make sense of it. You'll see your profit and loss for the year, and unrealized gains and realized gains. And that's how you do it. So let's dive into some charts, shall we? Because I want to look at Bitcoin at this hour and see where we're at with some of Clover here. Let's look at some of the meme stocks. and see what's happening with Clover. Clover Health is obviously one that's been moving. It's up already this morning, just as the market opened a few minutes ago. My charts here. So Clover is moving already this morning. Let me get over my Webull account here. And Bitcoin. Let me see what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin still hovering around that 35,000 range. Again, if you joined us late, what we've been talking about is whether or not this is a dead cat scenario. A dead cat bounce, of course. A dead cat bounce I showed you over here on the whiteboard is when it's going down, like Bitcoin is going down, and then it comes back up a little bit. You're like, hey, is this a recovery? And then it bounces down. That's a dead cat bounce right there. That's right. But we don't know yet. So that's what Bitcoin is doing right now. We just don't know if it's in this dead cat bounce phase or if it's in a double bottom. One of those two scenarios is going to play out for us. So here is Bitcoin waiting. So we've got a little bit of we got a red candle here in the 4-hour chart. If this, again, we're waiting two scenarios here. Could go 50-50. If it does move up and bulls start to come in and we start to push towards that 40,000 range, that's a breakout of that pattern. That's not, then it's gone past this area here. It's gone, pull up this trend line here. Then it's gone past this area here. Okay. Then we can say that, and it's pushing up into that 40,000 range. Then we have not seen a dead cat bounce. But if we only get up to here and we're back down now, we're heading towards 30,000. We could be heading towards 25,000. And it surely would have been a dead cat bounce. Or is it a double bottom? So double bottom. And a double bottom is usually an M pattern. So an M, like an upside down, or more like a W, right? And then a double bottom takes off. Then we can really say we're buying back into Bitcoin. So we don't know yet, but I will update you on my Telegram channel. Hope you guys follow me on my Telegram channel. I post different things I'm watching in the markets over there. That's just morninginvest.com/Telegram. If you go there, it's totally free to join. It's just like a texting community where I'll post different things that I'm watching in the markets, different news items. Like I posted last night there about the infrastructure talks collapsing, some different strategies for learning trades and so forth. So I'll be watching Bitcoin right through the rest of the day here and what happens here. So again, Bitcoin sitting here at about 34,000. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum bounced back nicely to 25. It was up above 25.50, which was my stop loss the other day. So we're above our stop loss from the other day, which is good. Can it hold? I don't know. I'm not very bullish on Ethereum at the moment. In fact, I think there's a possibility that Ethereum could be pushing down towards this 18,000 range down here. We'll have to see what happens in this. I mean, this is a lower high at the moment. Here's a lower high here. If we want to go across here, sorry, getting rid of all my. But if we want to look at this, this was here, and then we came in a little bit lower. And we'll see what happens here. If this can break through or stabilize, I think it's going to fall to the downside, in my opinion, on Ethereum. So if you're in Ethereum, make sure you've got stop losses. We bounce back a little bit, but boy, I would not be buying Ethereum right now. If anything, I am waiting for Ethereum to hit that $1,800 level down here. And I got to clean up my charts today. That's on my list. I just got to go in and clean up my charts. Down here, $1,800 level. Down here, let me bring a line down. So $1,700, $1,800 is where I'd be buying up a ton of Ethereum. But wait, don't just sit in cash right now. There's nothing wrong with sitting in cash right now and just waiting for these markets to move. Okay, so Ethereum. And again, what you're noticing also with Ethereum dominance charts, Ethereum dominance is dropping and Bitcoin dominance is going back up again. And when that happens, watch out on Ethereum. I think we're definitely seeing a decline in Ethereum over the next few days. So keep your eye on that. Just the data is showing such. So Be very, very careful on Ethereum. Doge, same thing with Doge. Like I think we could see, I think Doge is in the same pattern. Sorry, I'm not showing you Doge. Doge is in the same pattern. I think we see a lower Doge price as well. I think we could easily be coming down to 14-cent Doge. And that's when I will be stocking up on some Dogecoin. I think we could easily come down to 20 cents, 22, even 14-cent Dogecoin. So I would not be buying Doge right now, personally. Hey, how many of you still in that T-Fuel trade I told you about last week? A lot of you, I think, jumped into this trade. Let me know in the chat if you jumped into this one. I told you about this one last week, and I think a lot of you made some good money. And that's a key thing to point out. I heard a technical analysis person saying this. I thought it was really poignant, which is even if you've lost, like if you've been in like 5 or 6 trades and you've hit your stop losses at 3 or 4% on a few of them, but then you get one like T-Fuel where you made enormous profits, like you've doubled your money, that's all you need. You need one really good trade to recover those little stop losses that you might have lost on some of those smaller trades where you lost some on a stop loss. And so T-Fuel has just been a beast. Look at that. T-Fuel has been amazing. So I'm curious how many of you guys jumped into T-Fuel. Theta's not even doing as well as T-Fuel, and they always run side by side together. But Theta is still up. Again, none of these right now, folks, are buying. Nothing right now I'm telling you is a buy, in my opinion. Like, I am not buying any of this stuff right now. Theta, T-Fuel is already too high. I'm waiting for a retest here before I get into T-Fuel. You don't buy at the top. This is the top, okay? Or close. It's going to be, this could be an all-time high. And we can actually see the retest forming now. Is this an all-time? Nevertheless, I would not be jumping into that. Cardano, same thing here. Like, what's going to happen with Cardano? We could get really cheap Cardano. Maybe it drops down to 115, even below. I love Cardano, but I'm not buying it right now. Could it come down here? So these are all coins you want to pay attention to. Track them, folks. Track them so that you can follow these patterns and set alerts. If, like, I just got an alert a few minutes ago on Uni. Let's look at Uniswap. So Uni started finally crossing some good levels for me again, finally. But what's going to happen here? I don't know. I'm not buying into it, though. I'm waiting to see if this can sustain it. If this breaks out and starts moving, then I might buy back into Uni. Once this can, is this going to be another dead cat bounce? And that's what we're facing. We're facing like a lot of dead cat bounces right now. Just going to keep doing that. DOT. Here's another one. Like, I'm waiting on DOT. I'm waiting on DOT to, could even drop lower. I think DOT has a potential to 18 cents, even lower than that. Could drop down into like 14 cents, where I'll buy a lot of DOT. So again, none of these am I buying right now. This is not in a buying zone. This is, unless we get some confirmed breakouts and unless Bitcoin stabilizes. So Bitcoin, we're just waiting to see what's going to happen in this, dead cat bounce situation. Is it going to bounce higher and actually break out at 40,000 and continue up, or is it going to plummet? I don't know. I'll have to wait on that. Here is one, though, that if we can get it back down to that 4. This broke out. I wish I would have bought this earlier this morning. This is Kusama. Earlier, before the show started, this was right in the buy zone. This was right in this buying zone here this morning. And it's broken out a little bit. So Kusama is one of those outliers right now. So keep your eye on Kusama for an opportunity on a retest for this one to break out. Again, there's a lot of interesting news on Kusama coming out at the end of the month. So keep your eye on that one, as well as, that's all I had on my chart. Honestly, folks, with these right now, it's okay to sit in cash. It's okay for Bitcoin. Just wait till Bitcoin settles down, figure out what it's going to do. If Bitcoin actually pushes past 40,000, that's good for the market. And frankly, if Bitcoin plummets to 20, that's good for the market. We need some direction. Right now, we're in between directions, and we're like stuck in one of those revolving doors at a hotel right now. That's what we're in. And until we can break that pattern, like Superman can finally come out in his Superman outfit, or he goes back in as Clark Kent. Like, which way is it going to be? Is it going to be a Superman moment? He's going to break out at 40,000 and take off? Or is Bitcoin going to plummet down to 20,000, 25,000? And I'm not making up these numbers, folks. That's what the technical data is showing us right now. Look at the charts. Look at this double bottom. Is this a double bottom, or is this a dead cat? Let me know in the chat what you think it is. Any other super chats we can tackle here before we wrap things up?
We got quite a few of them pouring in here. So I'm trying to find the one because I think that so Frank D, I'm trying to find it so I can throw it up on screen because he did another one he did a $5 super chat with the it's gonna come out much better if you do it because it's in the Mitch McConnell voice. And I just don't have I can't find it to push it up on the screen.
Okay.
But,
I can do Mitch. I can do Mitch McConnell.
It was just a we burp, want all, hiccup, of our gurgle, kids to hiccup, have internet, gurgle, God bless oil. Mitch Scotch, day 2.
Mitch Scotch. Where so I don't have the kids have get me some Kentucky Scotch.
Yeah, people were wanting the Mitch McConnell voice. Tony Joslin wanted to know what are pros and cons of living overseas. That's a
well, I think one question. Let me just say that one of the cons. Yes, I mean I live in this is where I live, beautiful Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal. And I've got my businesses, in the United States, and I travel there when pandemic allows, and but let me just tell you that the pros are just, you're the third safest country in the world, virtually no crime, it's incredibly healthy food wise, like they just do not use like processed food here at all, it's very fresh. I mean, you kids' lunches at school are just like incredibly fresh and healthy, and it's they take care of their people here, healthcare, everything. It's the weather. It's sunny like almost every day, warm, beautiful fish, delicious fish. Cons I would say, or hey, you don't get the convenience of America. You don't like if you need to get like that Amazon package delivered immediately. Well, guess what? You're going to have to wait a day or two. You just don't get it like that stuff that fast. You need a fast food fix right now. Sorry. Depends on where you live, and you get some of that, but they just don't have, there's not drive-throughs. There's very few like drive-throughs. So all of that, I mean, the education, climate, culture, all of that, So, yeah.
Add Vangs with a $5. Oh, sorry.
I was just say, highly recommend it.
Yep. Add Vangs with a $5 super chat. Average American here had to jump through many hoops for my wallet accounts. How will all these unbanked gain access to wallets?
Well, I mean, not to get a digital wallet, like an actual just basic digital wallet, it's actually pretty simple. To use an exchange is what you're talking about, I think. Right? Now you're going to be trading crypto. That's a different animal. But just have a simple digital wallet is very easy to do. Let me think of one. Coinomi. Like Coinomi is a digital wallet. It takes like just a little, like a few minutes to set up. Let me see. Coinomi. Let me spell that wrong. I have a coin. I use it, but I don't spell it right. So like you're not trading on here. Let me just show you this. But you're just getting a digital wallet, right? And so now you've got a digital wallet, and that's it. Like you're not trading. So I think, does that answer your question? Hopefully, I think people conflate the two, right? You can have a digital wallet that's an exchange, like on Binance or KuCoin or Coinbase. But if you just want a digital wallet that you're holding your coins in, that's pretty easy to set up.
Mr. Junior Ice, $2 super chat. What's the best time chart to look at? Example, 1 hour, 4 hour.
Great question. It depends on what type of trader you are. Okay, so let me give you this example. So, maybe I should go to the whiteboard. What do you think? Let's come on over. Come on over, friends. Let's go to our whiteboard today. Come on, friends. Welcome to Clayton's Whiteboard Neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the whiteboard neighborhood. Where's my pen? Okay, so let's say you are a type of trader that wants to, you're going to sit in front of a computer all day. Okay, and you want to be a day trader. And let's say you've got like 4 hours. Like you're going to sit there. Maybe you're going to stand at a sitting desk. You're going to sit at a standing desk, whatever. And you're going to do some trading. You've got 4 hours where you can be right in front of your computer trading. And that's really kind of like a day trader. Well, then if you're like a day trader, so D, I'd be looking at like a 1, 3, 5 minute chart. 1, 3, 5 minute chart. Okay, 1, 3, 5 minutes. Like if I'm sitting there and I'm trying to and I only have like a few hours to trade during the day, I want to look at like minute by minute. I want to see what this stock is doing, right? Because I'm going to show you here in a second what that looks like when you're looking at these charts. I'm going to show you some of the stocks that are popping right now on Wall Street. I'm going to show you like CLOV, and we'll look at AMC, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. Now, if that's a day trader, I mean, like you're literally minute by minute. Okay. Now let's look at, like if you're a medium person, like you're a medium kind of guy and you just want to do you only have a few hours, you only have like an hour, and you don't really have much time to sit and look at charts. Then I'm going to be looking at like 1 hour charts. Okay. Like 1 hour. If I'm a medium trader, I got like some time, but I got to be with the kids. I got to go to work. I have it like an hour or so here to trade. Okay. So I'd be looking at 1 hour charts because you're going to be looking at a longer gameplay. And then if I'm like a long-term trader, someone who just wants to do it weekly, I'm not really doing this. I'd maybe do it on the week, I do it on a Friday or something like that. I'm not doing it every day. Then you can look at much longer time frames. You could look at 4 hour, 8 hour, and even weekly charts. Okay, 4 hour, 8 hour weekly charts. Like that's those time frames there. Let me just show you what that difference looks like over here. If we go to the laptop here, and I'll show you on the computer. Okay, so let me bring up. This isn't easier. Just load my. Okay. So, sorry, I keep pressing that stupid button. Okay, so here we are in my Webull backend. So let's just take a look at AMC right now. Let's pull up AMC chart. This is a 4 hour chart. So let's look at a 1 minute chart on Webull. Okay, so now I'm just seeing this movement here, and I can even, if I have the order book over to the side here, if I want to see the order book, look at this order book just flowing on the right. So look at all these orders: red selling, green buying, red selling. And so I'm sitting here watching this movement on this chart, like minute by minute, right? Let me get a better view here so you can see a little better. But like yesterday when I was making my trade on Clover and I made some good money, I bought in right after the show, and I'm sitting here watching the volume. I'm seeing what's happened with short positions, people, and then I'm seeing some of this volume moving in here, and I'm waiting for this little. Is this a bounce right now on AMC? And I'm looking minute to minute, right? So I want to see what happens on this. Is this going to sit here? Is this a bounce? And I'm looking, okay, is it moving? And then I'm going to wait. I want a confirmed bounce before I'm buying into this. Because if I buy in right now, this thing could be plummeting down here, right? So that's what you do if you're like a day trader. I'm sitting there watching this minute by minute chart. You could even go to, a 5 minute chart if you want. So you can see more of a pattern maybe emerging here. 5 minute chart, 1 minute chart. Or if I go to a 4 hour, that's going to give me a different animal to look at, So that's the difference. Hope that answers the question for you.
All right, we got. Let me catch back up. They're just pouring in right now. So, KDB Marshall, $5 super chat. Hi Clayton, are you holding Coinbase?
I am holding Coinbase. Yes, I am.
Frederick Lasort, $5 super chat. Hi Clayton, what are your thoughts over the supposed talks between Ethereum and Doge? Also, what do you think about the coming launch of Shiba Swap?
Yeah, I mean, all of this is good news. I mean, I think the talks between Ethereum and Doge are also, I mean, it's interesting. I'll wait till talks are one thing. Talks happen all the time till we get some confirmation of anything. I mean, I think that would be, if there's some major movement between Doge and Ethereum, I mean, I think a lot of people were already on its own thinking Ethereum could overtake Bitcoin in that space. You have Doge and Ethereum partnering up. That's like, you know, super twin powers activate.
Let's see. Coral Carney, what about if you get stopped out to US dollars? Do you have to report that if it's still on the exchange?
If it's in US dollars, yes. It doesn't matter if it's still on the exchange. Like, it doesn't matter. It's basically like a bank account. So if you get stopped out into US dollars, but I mean, yes. I mean, if you get stopped out and you made profits, anytime, just remember this, anytime you make profits and you're physically holding profits in a bank account, or physically you have cash in your hand, or it's in a bank account, you've got to report that. Not just like transaction by transaction, but your overall profits and your overall losses need to be reported. So that's something your accountant will have to handle. Make sure you talk with your accountant about that.
Charles Field, $5 super chats. Shorts are climbing. Whales must not like the rising price. KDB Marshall, $5 super chat. Hi Clayton, are you holding Coinbase? It dropped a lot. Yeah, we just covered that. Woody Nick, $4.99 super chat. What is your view on Pirate Chain and the Komodo blockchain? Is it the future of privacy coins?
I think it very well could be. We'll have to see. I'm going to be curious to see what governments do with that. You'll know that'll be a real test. Privacy coins, like if that's going to get a real test. Like I would not be putting obviously any kind of life savings into that, but it'll be interesting to see what governments do about that for sure. Are they allow it to proliferate? We're already hearing, obviously, ransomware attacks and the big focus on going after these digital wallets and these seizures of these digital wallets by these hackers. So imagine governments putting their efforts to try to go after these like hidden private coins, private wallets, pirate wallets, pirate coins, all of that stuff.
Okay, we got Edward Sukup with a 99 with the Karuna. What about super chat? I don't know what that translates into dollars. What about PDEX? Any thoughts?
Well, I love Polkadex. I got stopped out of Polkadex, unfortunately, but there's a lot of big news coming with Polkadex very, very soon. Of course, I don't know if you've seen my interview. Go and check it out here on the channel. I did a whole interview with the executive director of Polkadex about what they have planned and what they have coming here with the launch of their main net. So I think Polkadex could explode.
All right, then we have Valentina de Torre with a $4.99. I think that's, I don't know what that currency symbol is. It was just, there was no comment on that one. Moises Espinal, $2 super chat. Analyze Cardano, please.
Okay, let's go back to Cardano. Again, I did this one a little earlier, but I am not buying Cardano right now. I mean, this could be in a dead cat bounce. We're waiting for a breakout. This is a 4-hour chart. I mean, let's go down to let's do a 1 hour. Yeah, nothing really happening here. It's all still sitting in this zone. Like it's fighting right now. Like it's not going anywhere. And if anything, it's going down. So in my opinion, like I'm not buying Cardano right now. And I put this down here because I think it's very possible we could see Cardano down here in these ranges before recovering. So I'm waiting to farm a lot of these coins. Like Cardano, if this drops to that level, count me in. But right now, I think we could be in a dead cat bounce zone.
That's like so annoying to so many people. It's like at least we know that when you say dead cat, give you like 2 or 3 seconds and then hit mute at the same time. Valentina Dettori again, 4.99. I want to say that's a Libra, but that's not really a thing anymore, is it? I don't know. It looks like the old Libra symbol, but she lives in Lisbon. Just bought an apartment in Marbella. What do you think of that area?
Oh, I don't know that area in Marbella. Oh, I think I have been. Oh, I know what that area is. Yes, very, very nice. Nice. She's watching from Portugal. Bon dia. Well, I guess it's Botard now.
Go ahead. So then Alex M, 4.99 super chat. How do I set stop loss for all my coins just sitting on Coinbase? I don't want to keep losing. And do you speak Portuguese?
I do speak Portuguese. I just completed my A2 classes in Portuguese. So, eu falo pouco de português. Não muito bem. Anyway, if you go to Coinbase, first of all, I would not be using Coinbase for trades, in my personal opinion. Coinbase, the only reason I use Coinbase is to get money into the system. Okay, so I will take US dollars, transfer it to Coinbase, into their USDC, which is their stable coin, which is Coinbase's version of the US dollar. And then I transfer that to my exchanges that I use, like Bybit or KuCoin or Binance. That's where I do my trading. And there I can set all kinds of stop losses and have total control. Coinbase, forget about it, in my opinion. So just transfer your wallets. Just whatever coin you're holding. If you've got Ethereum, you've got whatever these different coins, transfer your wallet to your Binance. It's very easy to do. Just go into Binance, go into KuCoin, go into Bybit, and click on that particular coin, and then say deposit. Click on deposit, and it'll show you your wallet ID for your thing. It'll be like a long string of like 30 letters and numbers and everything. And then just paste that into Coinbase, and it'll transfer it over to your digital wallet on your exchange. And from there, you can set any kind of stop loss.
I just want to say that people asking about the stimulus update. If you actually go to yesterday's live show, we did a stimulus update. Not much has changed since then, but you'll find it in the chapter headings under stimulus update. So you can kind of go right there, because I don't think anything's really changed, has it, on the infrastructure?
No, I mean, I did a whole stimulus update today on the show. If you're late to the show, I talked all about infrastructure in our top of our headlines. So go back as soon as the replay is done here, as soon as the live show is done, go back and watch our stimulus update. I did a whole section on stimulus and where the talks are right now and what we can expect. So go back and watch that.
And then Patricia Montez had a $5 super chat, no comment. And then we've got Arakel, Kat Lubin, going through new members, Mike Draper, Jonathan Way, Sir Toasty, Justin Peacock, Moses Yinka, Cherryness14, Zlay Valky, and Wild Tao, all new members.
Awesome.
That's all we got.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone, for an awesome show today. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad. Hopefully, I explained what a dead cat bounce is all about, so you understand that. We're going to be watching Bitcoin very closely today. Pay attention to these charts. Technical analysis is always, always, always the way that you want to be monitoring your trades and getting in the market. Don't do it from emotion. So you might want to jump into Cardano. You might want to jump into some of these coins. Wait, in my opinion. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I am waiting. It's okay to sit in cash. Crypto.com. Yeah, a lot of people use Crypto.com. I guess it's okay. And there's some other, like KuCoin, you don't need a VPN. And some, like I use Bybit for a lot of my trades. I just love their simplicity of how they do it. And by the way, you can get $1,610 for free in deposits on Bybit when you use our link. If you go to morninginvest.com/coin, morninginvest.com/coin, you'll get up to $1,610 just for signing up for their deposits. Like when you get some for signing up, and then at different deposit levels, they give you like $1,600, which is the largest deposit amount of any of the exchanges. But you have to use our link, otherwise you don't get the money. And it's a
Sorry, one more last minute super chat came in, and then I think this is all of them.
Yeah, trailing stops are great as well. That's a more advanced technique, but I like to ladder and scrape profits. I like to do trailing stop losses. It's a little bit more of it, definitely more of an advanced technique. Just learn, don't go crazy if you're just learning. Just start simple, set basic stop losses. Make sure, you're under the most recent support level, and then, scrape profits at 25%, 50%, all the way up, and that's how you can make some really good money in a short amount of time. Just got to be smart about it. All right, everyone, be safe. Thank you for joining us today on the old show, learning about dead cats. And we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, 9 a.m. Eastern time, right here on the channel. Please subscribe if you're new here. We do the show live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time, helping you make more money, keep more money in your wallet. Bye, everyone.